Hey all, happy new year and welcome to the first video of 2024. This is going to be a bit of a short one because, to be honest, we don't actually know a huge amount of details yet about what we're going to be talking about. I just wanted to talk about it because it is potentially quite exciting and could end up saving you a lot of money if you wanted to start or try out a few new armies this year. So the Hachette Partworks series, which has previously covered 40k in things like the Imperium set and is currently going through AOS with Stormbringer, looks to be potentially in line for another monumental series of magazines in 2024. Now, as I said, this isn't confirmed at this stage. They do state that this is intended to be going on a trial run first, just to see how many copies they sell, see what the interest is like, and then gauge whether it's going to be worth them actually doing the whole sort of series. But it looks to be, if it all goes ahead, to be set around the 40k Combat Patrol boxes. And as you can see on your screen now, they've shown off a little tease about what is initially planned if this does go ahead in terms of the contents of the magazine, and what it is a whopping 9 combat patrols, comprised of Space Marines, Tyranids, Leagues of Rotan, the Eldari, the Astra Militarum, Genestealer Cults, Orcs, Chaos Space Marines, and World Eaters. So it is quite a big change from the previous styles of magazines they've done, which have been focused primarily on just a couple of armies, things like the Marines versus the Tyranids in Imperium, or things like the Stormcast and the Nighthaunt in the earlier Mortal Realms series. But what it is essentially a long series of weekly magazines, usually around 80, although I believe Imperium was 90, that comes with a load of models, a load of paints, some brushes, and a few other bits and bobs. And eventually, if you subscribe and get the whole set, every single magazine in the series, you will basically get everything that you see here. It always starts with a very nice discount, so the first couple of issues are much cheaper. The first issue itself is usually like $2.99 and it gets you at least 1, sometimes 2 models. So you can get a full sort of like Captain or HQ level model for just a couple of quid, which is really nice. But then it does ramp up to a more standard price for the rest of the issues. And what the article says about this one is that it may be going to a regular issue price of $9.99. And so, yes, doing a bit of maths in your head, you may be realizing that does sound like quite a lot. If there are 80 odd issues and they are mostly $9.99 each, barring the first few cheaper ones, you're still looking at nigh on £800 worth of investment. So it is a lot to commit. They don't all take it in one big lump sum. If you do subscribe, they take it, I think, on a monthly basis, from what I remember, of the Imperium that I was subscribed to. So it's not like you have to pay $800 up front, but it is still a lot to commit to if you want to get them all. However, you do look to be getting some fantastic value out of it, especially this one. Obviously, as I said, we don't know all the confirmed details yet, so stuff is up in the air and could well change. But if this does end up, say, costing £850 for the full subscription, all of the 9 combat patrols alone from GW are £855, so you are still making a saving. And from the looks of what they've previewed in terms of what the contents are going to be, there looks to be about 30-ish pots of paint and some brushes and all that kind of stuff, which you will essentially be getting for free. So it can be very good value. And just some very quick napkin maths, if you include all those paints, that's another couple of £100. So you are probably going to be making a few £100 saving, even if you do pay the whole 800, 850, however much it is, for the full subscription. Of course, there is also the case to be made that if you just want one thing in particular, if you are just after one particular unit or model or combat patrol, you don't have to go for the full subscription method. You can just get an issue here or an issue there and just build up what you want by kind of cherry picking the issues that you want. It's not quite as much of a saving overall, but in terms of having to not spend 800 odd pound on it, I guess you could argue it is more of a saving for you if you are only after a couple of things. If you do decide to subscribe for the whole thing though, you do get even more bonuses to make it better value. And in this set, again, all rumoured and not confirmed, but as you can see, it looks to be a selection which includes some clippers, some glue, a few more brushes, a mug, and they usually have a bonus mini thrown in as well. In the image here, it does show a company champion, but it is also mentioned that this could actually not be the one you get. They normally have an entirely new, unique model as part of these sets, and it looks to be that this Infernus Marine Sergeant is a new, unique design that may be the bonus model that you get if you do subscribe to the whole set. So again, it may not be worth it for you if you are only after certain things, but if you want to get everything anyway, subscribing to the whole set does just give you a little bit extra for your money, and you do get that unique little model just to go on top. So you are getting a little bit more bang for your buck compared to just buying it sort of issue by issue or buying just an issue here or there. You can also choose to pay a bit extra. You can add £2 per issue. So again, if we're using that 80 to 90 issue as a rough estimate, that's an extra £160 to £180 on top of the 800 odd you would be paying. So all in, if you subscribe to the whole set and you pay this premium on top, this could be in the region of £1,080, maybe £1,100 all in. But if you do decide to do that, you get some extra models over the course of the subscription. And in this case, they do actually add quite a lot of value, I think. As you can see, over the course of the 80 or 90 issues, if this subscription does go ahead, you also get 4 premium kits. And that contains a Brutalis Dreadnought, a Hive Tyrant, a Demon Prince, 5 Howling Banshees, 3 Killer Khans, 3 Thunderkin, a Rogel Dawn Battle Tank, and a Genestealer Cult Brood Coven. All of that essentially for that extra £160 to £180. And considering, just again, very quick maths, if you buy all these kits from GW, they are somewhere in the region of about £350, just over £350. So if you do decide to go for the premium route, you are making a significant saving on buying all these kits separately. And even if you bought all these kits from a third-party retailer, I think that extra £160, £180 would still be getting you them all for cheaper than you would be able to get them from, say, Element Games. So again, if you are going for the entire subscription method and you want to get all those 9 combat patrols, I would say this is one where it is very much worthwhile going for the premium route, because you do get a lot of extra for your money. And although an extra £160, £180 is a lot, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's cheap, but the value you get in terms of models from that extra is almost double what you are paying. So all in all, I think this is quite a good looking set. If it does go ahead, getting 9 combat patrols is really fun. It's really interesting that they've gone away from the sort of just 2 armies opposed to each other that they've done in previous subscriptions. But I do think a bad thing about this set is actually that it is so diverse. I think that could actually be a weakness. Before, with things like Imperium, it was mainly Marines versus Tyranids, and you could just subscribe to that if you collected either of those, and just know you would be getting a slow drip feed of new models and new units over the months that you could build and paint up, and it was all worthwhile and good value for you. Whereas now, unless you literally collect 9 separate armies, all the armies that are in the combat patrols, there is going to be stuff here that will just feel a bit worthless to you. And I mean, yes, sure, you can sell the stuff you don't want on, but you can bet your bottom dollar the eBay price of pretty much everything included here is going to be a hell of a lot less when the magazine is out compared to how it is now. If you just think, okay, I don't want the Thunderkin, so I will sell them when all the Votan stuff comes out, they're probably going to be a lot cheaper on eBay when everyone has them that has subscribed that doesn't want them compared to what they are now. I'm not going to go and look what they are now, but I bet you they will be a good 25%, if not more, cheaper when this magazine is in production, if it goes ahead, compared to prices now. I think in general, this is a fantastic looking set. I do have to say it. If it does stay how it is in this initial tease, I think for gaming clubs, for schools, for large groups of friends that want to add a few armies to their collections and to the mix, maybe try out Combat Patrol in a big sort of tournament competitive setting amongst their group of friends, this could be a great way to get 9 new armies to choose from. Or of course, if you are just a collector and you love Games Workshop models and you want to paint up and build every army out there, this is going to be a great way to get hold of a load of them. But if you are just a primarily Marine player or primarily Nid player or Orc player or whatever, and you only focus on 1 or 2 or 3 factions, as I said, there is going to be a lot in here that you may not want or you may not need, or you just feel is not worthwhile putting that subscription price in for. And although I think if you do get the whole set, you will be making a significant saving on getting everything, you might not be able to recoup all of that cost by selling the bits you don't want on eBay. And if you don't have any friends, or I mean, obviously I hope you will have friends, if you don't have any friends that want those other bits, they are just going to sit there and kind of be a bit worthless for you. So I think if you are part of a big group and you can think realistically that you are going to use 9 new armies, at least in games of Combat Patrol, I think this will be a really, really good set to get. If you are just buying it for yourself and maybe 1 or 2 other friends, and you aren't realistically going to use all the 9 armies there, I would say maybe instead of going for the full subscription, just getting issues here and there, going for the issues that have units that are the armies that you play and that you want to collect, is going to allow you to still probably get a full Combat Patrol for cheaper than you would be able to buy it just straight from GW, and also get you a few extra paints or brushes into the mix for free. I just don't think it's worth going for that full subscription and premium payment if you aren't going to use, you know, half of the stuff that you end up getting. So that is the new rumored potential Hachette Partwork set. As mentioned, this is going on a trial run in the near future. I do imagine it's going to sell very well, to be honest. I can't imagine it won't be popular enough for them to push it into a full run, but nothing here is confirmed. It's worth noting that stuff could very well change between now and when it does actually go into production. So even the image of everything you get, that could very well change. Maybe they think 9 Combat Patrols is too many and they just condense it down to 7 but add a few more bits into each of them or something. I don't know, but I think it is nice to see what is potentially coming. And if you do have a plan to paint up and build and play 9 new Combat Patrols over 2024, this could be the exact series that you've been waiting for. But as always, I'd really love to know what you think. What do you make of this potential series? Would you have preferred to have seen it more focused on just a couple of armies? Or are you actually excited to see the diversity of models that is going to be in this? And also, do you think it's worth that near 1,000 point price tag if you go for the premium subscription? Or do you think it should be even cheaper? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me. And until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.